here in the northern part of Toyota Field out in San Antonio, Texas. Joe Rodriguez, Edson Ochoa for the Striker Texas, doing another social media hit. We're going to discuss what happened last night out in the state of New York, where the RGV Toros defeated the Red Bulls 2 team by the score of 1-0. Edson Ochoa, thankfully, made up the drive up to San Antonio, got here safe up from the Rio Grande Valley. He's here with us. Edson, just obviously a result 1-0. There's times where you play a thorough soccer game, you dominate statistically, you dominate just to the eye of the casual observer, but you don't get the result. Other times you get a result by any means possible, even though statistically or to the naked eye you might not have been the better team, but that's the way soccer is. Apparently last night for the RGV Toros, it was the latter, but still they get the win. Tough road trip all the way out to the East Coast, and they get 3 points and big victory, big moment. Great Friday night for the fans out in the Valley. No.
Yeah, I think it was one of those results that needed to happen no matter what. I've talked to it in previous episodes of the Striker Tejas, referring to El Paso, that they didn't need to play beautiful. They just needed the 3 points, and now it was up to RGB after a 4-game winless streak to be able to get the 3 points in whatever way possible. Yesterday, we saw a match where from the first minute, Red Bulls had a clear opportunity off of a free kick and had the clearer chances on the net. But the good thing for the Toros was that the Red Bulls had the similar problem that the Toros do in this
early start of the season.
Okay. Exactly, it is the lack of accuracy from their shots up on top. If I recall correctly, the Baby Bulls had 10 shots total. Only 2 were on target. One of them a free kick. I think it was like in the 17th minute. And then the other one, the Toros had 8 shots total. 2 of them on target, including one that came off of the goal from Frank Lopez. I think overall it was a game that, from an analytical point of view, it kind of left a lot to be desired. I'm guessing for Wilmer Cabrera as well. But at the end of the day, you needed to get the points to catch up to everybody else, at least for those bottom feeders of the those that qualified to the playoffs in the Western Conference, to not stagnate to the point where it's 3 points or die later on in the season.
That's exactly excellent point. That's what that victory felt like. I think last night out in New York is one of those where those 3 points you're going to be thankful you have them come towards the end of the season. You touched on the technical standpoint, the analytical standpoint for the Toros' performance. Technically speaking, do you think there was anything that you caught that Wilmer can use from this game to build on moving forward?
So I think one of the key points that needs to be said about this game is that Dylan Borjak, despite being his rookie year in the USL Championship and as a professional in general, I think Dylan Borjak is that catalyst for Wilmer Cabrera this season to try to get some opportunities fed to Frank Lopez. I know in the game against I believe it was LA Galaxy 2, the attack was clearly lost out there with Duilio Herrera as a starter. Once they brought in Dylan Borjak, then more clear opportunities on goal appeared for RGVFC. So the problem is, who do you have behind them? There is not a lot of depth. We talked about last week how you have 3 players that have not been approved by immigration to be able to work here yet in the United States. You've got a couple of injuries as well. One of the good things is, though, that we recuperate Tyler Derrick, and he actually played last night against New York Red Bulls 2 and got a clean sheet and had a couple of saves that were key in keeping that clean sheet for RGVFC.
But importantly, one thing that I pointed out to you guys, I mentioned on the Striker Tejas podcast, which I invite everybody to listen to every week. One thing that you and I that I always made mention of to the boys on the panel of the Striker Tejas podcast last year. Tyler Derrick seemed to be a hero, and I always said if your goalkeeper's a hero week in and week out, that doesn't say a whole lot about the team as a whole. That wasn't the case last night, right? I mean, it wasn't like if the Baby Bulls were smothering RGV, was it?
No, it was. I mean, they had some shots, but frankly, it was nothing that had Tyler Derrick worried. He had one or two, but that was enough. And that's the problem, though, is that it's the same defense. It's the same kind of issues where they kind of allow their opponents to some opportunities. But the difference is now you have a keeper that whenever he needs to come up, he comes up. Not necessarily saying that Colin Miller was a bad keeper. He's not. But he doesn't have the talent or the experience that Tyler Derrick can bring, not only as a shot stopper, but also as a leader to guide that defensive back line.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Tyler Derrick, one of the most recognizable names in all of the USL, I believe, despite, goalkeeper or not, he's one of the most popular names. Anyhow, that's what we got for right now. We're going to wrap up this segment with regards to last night's RGV Toros victory over on the East Coast against the Baby Bulls by the score of 1-0. Please stay tuned to the Striker Texas. We're going to do plenty of more hits here before the start of tonight's game out here at San Antonio, where the San Antonio FC is hosting El Paso Locomotive. For Joe Rodriguez, or for Edson Ochoa, I'm Joe Rodriguez. We'll be right back.